So these things are the bane of my existence. I hate them with a burning passion. You have to like get in under the angle and they always break, and I know they make stuff for it, but I hate them. So I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna do push button. That way, if I ever need to pull the bumper off, I can just click and pop it out. So these things are relatively simple to install. All you're doing is using the pin as a center punch or the center marker. You mark the bumper where the center point is. That gives you your pilot hole. And you come around to either the front or the back and you drill the main hole, and it's just a sandwich fitting. So the initial test didn't work. The angle, I'll put a picture of it, but the angle was off. And so I had to correct the angle, and this is essentially what I came up with. Basically, it's a bracket that takes the normal like angle of the bumper and then just twists it so that now I can put a bolt through this end, or essentially the rod, and it should now interact correctly with the bumper. All right, so I'm definitely off, but it's close. And I just eyed this up, so I'm not super worried about it. For starters, let's get that about straight. That's about a true angle right there. So you can see that it's needs to come level or parallel with the line of the thing a little bit. And then I need to drop it. So I'm gonna measure that and then just give it a bit of stank. And that'll also give me the clearance needed to tighten everything down. That should be good. All right, here is version 2 of the bumper fix. So basically this is going to plug into here. And then what that'll do is it gives me the angle slight, and then it also drops it so that when I go to put the bumper on, it should be pretty close to 1-to-1. So let's get it installed and see how it works. All right, so here is the second iteration. We got the angle closer and we got the height just about right, but we needed a little more angle and we needed a little lower. So that's where we came up with this one. As you can see, is a tad more angle and it's about 7 millimeters lower. So let's load this one in and see how it looks. So close, but no cigar. So the angle is almost perfect. It's actually still needs to be down. There we go. Needs to be even more aggressive. So I need to retool it a little. And then I guess because I dropped the angle, it changed the mounting point, which I didn't account for. And it gave me bumper gap. So I've got cool. So I got it. Bumper gap is almost perfect. And then it also lines up parallel to the connector. I'm sorry, to the fender. So the only thing is that you can see I still don't have the angle right. I'm off by like a couple of, I'm trying to get a light in here. There we go. I'm off by a couple degrees, which it's not the end of the world. It's just that whenever I try to correct that, it just sags the bumper. And so while this isn't perfect, I'm gonna stick with it because it works. So I'm going to probably thicken it up a little, make it just a bit beefier because it's really thin. And then I'll print the mirror and we'll call this one set. All right, yeah, new plan. So, we're kind of at a point where I don't feel good that this is going to be able to give me any of the stability that I need, or at least as much as I want. I mean, it really truly looks like it, but then you realize you're essentially tugging on something that is not structured in a way to have a lot of downward pull. It's really just meant to be a brace for the headlight. The fender though, right here, this is braced. So it's braced to the body because this is essentially the anchor for the fender. So if I were to draw between this and that, and then just put the bracket here, I should have all the strength it needs. Like you should be able to, well, you don't want to stand on the bumper, but that should be as strong as just that, right? Which ironically is essentially the same thing, but slightly less. So I'm gonna make a bracket from here to here, and then I'm just gonna guess on this because I don't feel like combining my designs right now. And then I'll tweak this as I get that from there. So long story short, gotta break up the scanner. Well, it certainly looks better. 3D scanning is cheat codes. So let's get the bumper on and see if this works. And if it does, this one is done. I'd say this one about gets it. This is rendition number like 4. So what I ran into here is that even though I was scanning the body of the car, I wasn't scanning with the bumper on, so I had no idea where my button was gonna be. And so I had to sit there and fight it a bunch of times before I could get it right, but it's all good. I got it installed. It does work normally. And that's the new bracket. It's just another rendition of the old one. I got it, and it should replicate well to the other side, even though the button is a little bit raised on this part of the bumper, but it's, you know, shouldn't be a problem. Going on is pretty straightforward. Yeah.